Is homemaking regressive? Is it limiting our potential to be a homemaker? Homemaking is a creative, personal role rather than just a set of chores. It's the art of managing a household, creating a nurturing, organized, and welcoming home environment. It goes beyond cleaning and cooking, focusing on creating a safe, loving atmosphere that meets the emotional and physical needs of family members, transforming a house into a place of rest or sanctuary. Homemaking is complex, skilled, and exhausting work, but it is the most gratifying work that I have ever experienced. Welcome to Womenfolk Revival, where we are deeply rooted and wildly intentional. I'm Maggie.
And I'm Meara. And last week we spoke on women's health being a sacred duty and and advocating for yourself in the world of medicine. So if you've missed that episode, don't forget to go back and check it out. It's episode 3 from last week. And don't forget to download your free advocacy toolkits from the United States and from around the world on our Facebook community page that you will find in the link below this episode.
So, this episode is on how to make your home more natural, healthier, and how to make it your sanctuary. And in our discussions, Meara and I realized that we needed to make this a 2-part series because there's just so much information that we needed to share.
Mm-hmm.
And we discovered that this all begins with creating natural rhythms in the home. It's less about having a strict schedule and more about establishing predictable patterns that follow the flow of life, or what I like to call a living day. When you are a homemaker, when you are a mother, your daily life is never going to be the same each and every day. There's always going to be things that pop up, and you need to be able to move along with those things that pop up. And if you have a rigid schedule, it's just going to cause frustration and stress and chaos. But having rhythm, having a fluid motion where you have, think more like anchors that you can hold on to. So you have your morning time and the certain things that you do in the morning time, whether it be chores, homeschooling. And then when things pop up, you deal with them as they come, but you still have that, or maybe like a block schedule. If you are a homeschooler, then you might know about block scheduling. And you have a certain time frame to get certain things accomplished. It's not a step 1, step 2, step 3. It's whatever you can do in that moment and that time frame. It doesn't matter the order. It's just how it flows naturally through the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so many of us have been taught that control is the answer. You have a perfect schedule and life will magically fall into place. Rigid routines is my thing. The thing I like to say is rigid routines create more stress, not less. Life doesn't run on exact time blocks. Having time frames, we do have hours where we start to do things, but it doesn't have to be that exact time. Like, 7:00, okay, we're in bed, good night. Kids get tired, babies need attention. Some days feel slow and some are completely full. Having a rhythm isn't about bending your home to the clock. It's about noticing our kids and noticing our energy and noticing the seasons of life and asking, what actually works for us, So once we shift that mindset, everything in our home will start to flow differently. Our days will feel a lot more calmer. Things will be more secure. The kids will feel more secure. And I see it as it's not a chore that we're just delegating to our kids. Everything that we do is working together as a family, and we're working together, not against one another. So rhythm doesn't mean not having structure. There's gotta be
Mhm.
structure. There's always going to be structure. It's just about creating that predictable flow, without pressure of exact times. Kids respond to patterns. Kids crave structure. Really, they crave structure. My mom always told me
Mhm.
this growing up. When I had my first 2 children in my early 20s, she said, "Your kids crave structure." And she's an early intervention specialist, so of course, I was listening to her, and it's true. We've had a pattern in our home since my children were little, and my oldest is, 21 years old? Yeah, wow, he's 21 years old. So, predictability reduces anxiety and power struggles in our children. This is why rhythm works. The flow also helps everyone in the household, kids and adults. I know there's a lot of us adults out there that need rhythms, that don't have rhythms. So, regardless if you have kids or not, this works for you because it works with your natural energy, right? And then it creates a
Mhm.
calmer, more peaceful home without the stress of looking at the clock. We never live this way. Like I said before, my 2 oldest, 21-year-old and my 20-year-old, they went to Montessori school their whole life. Um, and it wasn't that overwhelming because I was in my 20s and my 30s, and I also had the help of my mother who was like, "Okay, you know, just do things this way. It doesn't have to be perfect. Everything should just be simple." And then later, our middle 2 children, they attended Montessori school as well for 2 years. But then after the 2 years, we decided to transition them into homeschool, but online homeschool because of the um, work that my husband was doing and my job. It was the only way we can take them out of school, and do homeschooling for us. This is what worked. The system started to feel overwhelming for us, and classes weren't really becoming they were just weren't that appropriate for our kids, so we pulled them out, which is another topic of discussion. So now we have these our kids are in homeschool, and, um, I totally lost my train of thought. We're still basically what I'm trying to say is we're still working on finding the right balance, and we're still trying to explore what works for our family, and
Mhm.
everyone's gonna be at a different pace in life, and that's fine. Just make sure that everything you do at home is centered around what you can realistically maintain while building that independence and responsibility in a calm, sustainable rhythm, you know?
Mhm.
Um, so
Yeah, for me, I I am not a fan of structure, and I'm very free flowing and organic and just kind of I
you
just like
are.
to go with the flow of things. And as our kids have gotten older and we're homeschooling and I'm doing the majority of that because I'm I stay at home.
At home. Mhm.
I I see that my children need some kind of structure.
Mhm.
And when I have kind of poked around with that, I see an immediate change in them, a positive change.
Mhm.
It is still a big struggle for me. Um, but trying to create these more of these rhythms where I can look at it as, you know, a big space that I have that I can fit certain things in. And
Mhm.
again, it doesn't have to be the same every day,
Mhm.
but it's the same things every day in that time frame. But I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can do 3, 4, 2, 5, 1. I can do it in any order I need to that fits well with me, but still works for my kids. So they know in the morning time we're going to do these things, these specific things. In the afternoon, we have specific things that we do. And in the
Mhm.
evening, we have specific things that we do. And then I no longer have to hear, mostly my daughter, ask me, Mommy, what are we doing tomorrow? Mommy, what are we doing tomorrow?
Mhm.
She'll be able to, she'll know what we're doing tomorrow. She won't know the
Mhm.
exact order because, it'll change because it's a living day and it can go any which way we want it to. But we are still held accountable for the things that we need to get done.
Mhm.
I think
I
it'll be
like
a good
that.
thing for me as well as
I
them. But
I
I
think it
just
will
need
too.
to I need to get,
Get on with
get
the
in that
ball, Maggie.
habit, and I know, you know, I'm working on
Yeah,
it.
you are. I'm so proud of you. You've come such a long way. I know that with your children, that would be perfect for them because your kids don't like. I can just see that they aren't the type that are like, okay, we're gonna do the same thing over and over and over every single day. They'll get so bored. My
Mhm.
kids, if I did the same thing over and over every day, they probably wouldn't get bored. But that's just because my kids
They're like
are
you.
just, yeah. But so, of course, everybody's home's gonna be different, like, so
Mhm.
you have to switch it up every day, and then in my house, I don't necessarily have to switch it up every day, so it's gonna take some time to find a rhythm, no matter who you are and where you're coming from, and like you
Mhm.
said, you're a stay-at-home mom. I work full-time, um, 52 hours a week, actually. My husband's full-time as well, and I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I'm a homemaker, and I'm trying to do homesteading, so
Mhm.
um, it's a lot to juggle, but, you gonna say something?
Alright. Well, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Just bringing up homesteading.
Mhm,
That so cyclical living also. So having this what I call living day allows
mhm.
you, different times of years you're going to be busier, and we
Sure,
homestead as well, or we do our best to. Which is a whole nother conversation.
it is.
But, right now we are starting seeds and we are preparing the garden beds, and we have so much to do
Mhm,
outside. And a lot of that stuff needs to fall on me because I'm here all day long.
mhm.
Now, of course, we include the children into that, and that's a part of their learning as well. So
Sure,
that
yeah,
is, part of our homeschooling schedule throughout certain times of the year. So that's why, especially for us, it has to be able to
flow.
change
Mhm.
drastically, and for us to still be able to get our need bees done.
Well, that's a very important thing that you bring up with, including that in their homeschool. That's what we're trying to do is teach our children the roots and going back to that
Mhm.
womenfolk good old revival that we're trying to do.
Mhm.
Um, so I know with you, you were talking about how everything just kind of flows. You never really had that pattern or that rhythm that fit perfectly for your family. Um, I'm quite polar the opposite. I've Growing up, I was diagnosed with ADD. So in college, in order to get through school, I had to train my brain to do things a certain way. And one of those was mass structure. Now, was I kind of all over the place? Sure. But till date, since having kids, it was just kind of an automatic thing that I fell into. So even now, um, everything has a structure and everything has a time, but it doesn't have to be at that specific time. So every day my kids know exactly how things happen. We wake up, the two middle kids, oldest, because they they live at our house now still. So the two older kids, they're in school all day. And then the littles still have breakfast if they want. The two olders sometimes skip breakfast and then they eat lunch. And then we eat dinner before 5 o'clock. And then 6 o'clock is our wind down time. We clean up the house. The kids are delegated tasks. The older two do dishes. The younger two pick up the toys. We start winding down for the day. The 4-year-old and the 3-year-old are in bed by 7 p.m. The two older kids by 7 p.m. are in their room reading a book or doing something of their choice. And then by 7:30, they come out, they say goodnight, and they send themselves to bed by 7:30. And then the baby goes to bed with with us. So, which isn't that much later. So while the timing is fairly structured, the focus is still flow over rigidity because sometimes they're in bed by 8, and that's fine as long as they have that time to wind down before they go to bed.
Mhm.
It's not about the exact minute, it's about steps: dinner, cleanup, quiet time, sleep. And this works for us because rest is essential and it helps children and adults regulate
Mhm.
emotions, settle their energy, and be able to transition smoothly into bedtime. Sleep is huge. It's extremely important. It's a non-negotiable because it affects everything. That's why we're in bed so early. Um, Kids need 9 to 12+ hours depending on their age. It helps their bodies grow and repair. It helps their brain process the day. It helps their emotions regulate, except for mine because they're girls, and that's just how we are. Well rested kids handle frustration better. They listen easily and they have a lot less meltdowns, and it strengthens the immune system. And did you know that as adults, we need 7 to 9 hours as well? Um, I don't know if you guys all notice, but with more sleep, we're more patient, present, and a lot less overwhelmed.
Mhm.
So protecting our sleep is, to me, the foundation for a rhythm-based home. And I'm old and I love to sleep.
You are
So
not old. We are not old. You
we're
can't
not.
say things like that. We're the
Okay,
same
okay,
age,
okay.
and I am not old.
I am seasoned and I love my sleep.
You know, I have seen many studies showing that women need more sleep than men
Mhm.
because
We
we
do it
have
all.
more complex emotions and thought processes.
Yes.
So women, get your sleep. I love my sleep.
Get it, ladies. It's amazing.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
In our home, responsibilities are not chores. They're just a part of life. So like I said before, tasks are age appropriate, natural, and sometimes even playful. We give them so much praise. Our two older, they do their laundry whenever their laundry needs to be done. We don't have to tell them anymore when to do their laundry. They take showers on their designated days. Um, you know, Pride and confidence grow when
I
children
think
can
most
contribute.
I think most people are gonna hear that and say, "What? On their designated days?"
Oh, yeah.
Mira and I, we do
They don't
not.
shower every day.
Yeah, we
We
do not
wash.
either.
We
It's so
wash.
much better for your health if you do not. I
Oh,
used to
yeah.
have horrible allergies, and when I stopped showering every single day, they went away. Now, when I'm out
Yeah.
working in the yard, if I get totally gross, if our kids get
Oh,
totally
summer's
gross,
different.
yeah.
We don't shower in the summer every day either, but we will hose you down if you're dirty. And we do wash. We wash every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, kids' confidence grows when they're able to contribute and when they get praise and they see that their responsibilities aren't forced. It becomes a part of a natural rhythm, and that whole being intuitive, not intuitive, what is that word I'm looking for? Intentional. Being
Intentional.
intentional about doing things and bringing our creator into it makes it even better because then they see, oh, I'm being watched by the creator and I'm making them proud. Um, we build a sense of
Mhm.
teamwork in our house pretty much with everything we do. And we bring
And I
intention
love
and
that.
discipline.
Every time you talk about your family and how things work, it's so beautiful and it's so
Oh,
dreamy
thank
to
you.
think about. And in my household, we are so far from that. But we want that and we're working
Oh,
towards
you'll
it.
get there. You'll get there.
And granted, um my kids are a little bit, well, you have your two
Hmm.
orders, whatever you call them. And, they're able to do more. Whereas my oldest is, well, she'll be 8 soon. And,
Hmm.
then she'll start kind of tacking on more things like that, maybe laundry
Hmm.
and that sort of thing. But we're not quite there yet.
Well,
But I can definitely see they are much more likely to do things, to do chore-like things when they're not necessarily being asked. When they
hmm,
know that, it's there, needs to be done,
hmm,
they like the feeling of helping out, and then they come and let me know. And then
and getting
sometimes
praised.
it's almost a competition for them. They wanna be the
Hmm.
one who does more. "Mommy, I just did this. Mommy, I just did this." "Well, I did
Hmm.
this." And, sometimes there's some bickering involved, but, I give them equal love and equal praise, and
Hmm.
it's so much better
It's
that way than, feeling like you're demanding them to to do these things. It's so frustrating.
yeah, it's hard. You never get anything out of them, and you get them talking back to you, this, that, and the third. And and it's not all roses here. My house is by far perfect. We have so much to work on. But for that, being able to have our two elders, we call them our elders, um, you know, they're they're a godsend for us. I mean, they're just amazing. They will help with
Mhm.
anything and everything. And it's all about, you know, reward of praise and good job and you're so amazing. And um, you know, so life living in cycles is the way to be. Some days are going to be slower,
Mhm.
some are going to require more rest. Um, we adjust based on our energy and the needs, like you said, seasons, different times of the year. Um,
Well, and speaking of that and energy needs, especially with us being women, our entire lives is a series of cycles.
it sure is.
And that continues regardless of what's going on in your daily household, you know? There's going to be days in your cycle where you feel great and wonderful and you're on top of the world, and there's going to be other days
Mhm.
in your cycle where I mean, the day just can't get over soon enough, and you just
Yeah.
can't get your
Yeah.
mind right, and, you're bloated or you're just feeling
Cycles.
off.
Are you
So
speaking of menstrual cycles?
well, sure.
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
gonna have a whole nother episode on that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Because women don't
Um,
know enough about our cycles, and they're a
they do
major
not.
impact
I
of
just learned not that long
everything.
ago. Mhm. Mhm.
Me
So
too.
if you want to create a rhythm in your home,
Mhm,
start small. You can do it. You don't have to be perfected. It does not have to be perfected in a day, week, year. Just pick one area and start small, whether it's delegating
yes.
tasks or um, just getting laundry done in a week's time the way you want it to, same time every day, something, not same time, but same flow every day. Don't stress
Yeah.
about exact times. Focus on the flow. Introduce responsibilities gradually, whether it's to your kids or for yourself. I know a lot of adults have issues with being able to, work on themselves as well with this. And always prioritize your sleep first. It is a non-negotiable. Sleep,
Mhm,
sleep is the foundation for everything. And with that being said, um, again, we have some available resources for you, some guides
mhm.
that can help you on our Facebook community page. Again, link is in the um, link is below. I have a we have put together life skills, activities, and daily rhythm guide for kids, building their independence, responsibility, and fun daily habits. We also have daily rhythm schedule example for kids, just an example to see how your day can flow naturally without feeling rigid. And bonus adult life skills and personal growth chart. I had to throw that in there. Practical tools, self-care ideas,
Mhm,
and habits for intentional flow. These resources are designed to help support your whole family in creating flow, consistency, and meaningful routines without the stress of strict schedules. You do not have to download these. I'm sure there's other things you can find plenty online that would help you as well that are free. Do not pay for these things.
mhm,
So always remember you don't need a perfect schedule. You need a daily rhythm that fits your family's unique needs and energy. Focus on patterns, not the clock, and let your day move more naturally. When you
mhm.
embrace rhythm over rigidity, children feel secure, us adults feel secure, parents feel less stressed sometimes, and your home runs more smoothly.
Yes.
So, is there anything else that you needed to add?
Yes. Tune in next week when we discuss natural cleaning, um, how organization helps immensely, cooking. What else, Mira? Ridding
Oh,
your
yeah.
household of toxins.
Toxins, chemical
Oof.
toxins. It can be
Because that
chemicals.
is
It can be
affecting your behavior and everyone's
everything.
behavior and health
It
too.
sure is. And plants, healthy plants that,
Yes.
restore
Bringing the
energy and
outdoors
oxygen.
in.
Yes. And remember, follow the flow, honor the rhythm, and create a home where everyone can thrive. Be
Mhm.
sure to tune in next week. Don't forget to get your goodies. Maggie mentioned it last week. Now I can't stop saying it. Goodies. Don't forget those those PDF goodies to download. And in the meantime, don't forget.
To
Stay,
stay. Stay
what
rooted
is it,
and stay
Maggie?
wild.
Stay wild.